APEC Policy on Women and the Economy.
Is to know, the governments to know the level of business that women are at.
Locals raid contractor.
Not one police unit turned up.
And Kumuls coach happy despite loss.
This is National MTV News with Meriba Tulo.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us for Sunday's news. The meeting of the APEC Policy on Women and the Economy began today in Port Moresby. Among the discussions were the PPWE Terms of Reference and Strategic Plan. Over 50 Papua New Guinean women entrepreneurs were part of the agenda by taking part in a craft market and display.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to cut the ribbon and officially declare that this trade fair is open.
The craft market and exhibition were a small part of the meeting of the APEC Policy Partnership on Women and the Economy, or PPWE. It was organized in collaboration between the PNG Women in Business and the Business and Professional Women.
We want APEC economies to know, the governments to know the level of business that women are at and the help that they need for the supply chain, the quality.
Over 50 women exhibited their products from the arts, jewelry making, fashion designs and textile, and many other businesses. Director of the PNG WIB, Janet Sape, said women entrepreneurs in PNG struggled because, frankly, it's expensive to do business here. The high cost of rents and expenses like fuel, phone bills, the cost of internet, and then the taxes and lack of market access and access to finances.
We need the public and private partnership that must happen, where the private sector must have that voice to be heard and we can collaborate with the government. They're the policy makers, so the private sector is readily and always available to implement those policies, so that the link is not there. So the challenges that we face, who do we talk to? We're always talking through the media.
Susil Nelson Kongoy, president of the Business and Professional Women, agreed.
The APEC delegates that come here, they're also affiliated to lots of other organisations besides the government role that they play. So those are some of the networks that we want to see. How well is it working that they're doing, and use that as a platform to help what we're doing in country. So those type of connections are also what we are there as. We aren't actually participating, but we're there as observers so that we can make the connections and bring that back and help our women as well.
Talks at the PPWE will continue until Tuesday. The craft market and exhibition is also open to the public until Tuesday. Deli Waigeno, National MTV News.
With the Pacific Games nearing, opposition leader Don Pollier wants PNG athletes to get a feel of the facilities. Mr. Pollier said athletes will be better prepared by knowing their facilities at home. He urged the government to keep track with the developments of these games facilities.
The opposition leaders said our athletes will either make or break PNG with their performance. Mr. Pollier said giving ample time for the athletes to know their sporting venue is very vital. He says the opposition wants to see venues be completed so athletes have a feel of the different sporting facilities prior to the games next month.
Where they deserve the right, and it's an opportunity they cannot miss. They should go on to those fields and try out the fields before the actual competitions come out.
Mr. Pollier urged the government to check facilities under construction and push contractors to the limits so facilities are completed.
The ministers to do that. They should go in there, check to make sure everything is on track, and every facility, outstanding work undone, needs to be completed within the next 1 to 2 weeks' time.
But Sports Minister Justin Chachenko and Prime Minister Peter O'Neill remain confident that all facilities will be completed on time for PNG to host the games.
I'm very comfortable, I'm sleeping well, knowing that the infrastructure is on target, on time, and will be ready for July 4th, 2015.
Meanwhile, Mr. Pollier urged all Papua New Guineans to be in their best to welcome neighboring Pacific countries taking part in the games.
The position is happy. We are a happy team to share this happiness and the games here with our Pacific neighbors. sportsmen, women, and others officials will be coming to this country.
Jacob Harvey Jr., National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, Sports Minister Jasin Chichenko says all venues will be tested prior to the Games. However, the testing and trialling facilities will not be possible for the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium as construction work will continue right through till the last week of June. The Oil Search Games baton relay is now touring the Hela province after leaving New Ireland last Friday. The baton travelled over rugged mountains to reach the home of PNG's oil and gas reserves. Jeremy Moggy with the highlights.
Leaving Ongoli and travelling up the highway towards the Huli Gap. On one side, Mount Ambia, on the other, Mount Kalumpa. The Hela Gap is significant as it is the place where the lands of the Hela Huli tribe meets the Hela Opana tribe. The journey continued with a short stop at the Kapul market for the locals to have a chance to see the baton. Continuing along the road, the baton travelled to Magarima station, along the way meeting the baton runners coming in. Locals looked on, but soon realizing the baton relay had come to them. Two other Kokomo dancing as well. A quick stop at the local market where the ladies sold their produce. A crowd gathered to touch the baton, passed in line so all could be coming. Stopping at the second market, a bigger line was made. More crowds gathered at the next crossroads as more people wanted to touch the baton, many with smiles and laughter. The baton travelled into Ambia and was walked along the rainforest path, past a waterfall, through a stream, with a Hela wigman carrying it over a rope bridge. The final destination, the PNG power plant, who will be providing electricity to the people of Tari. The baton relay continues. Jeremy Moggy, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. After the break, villagers raid a local business in search of betel nut bags and another royal baby. Stay with us for the details. Welcome back to the news. A local businessman in Hanobada has lost over 900,000 kina in damages to his properties. Three Sons Limited was ransacked by angry Hanobada villagers after thinking betel nut bags that were confiscated were stored in his yard. A company spokesperson said Hanobada needs police presence as lawlessness is on the rise there.
Angry Hanobada villagers stormed the property housing Three Sons Limited, Uwala Ayaka and its construction company this week. Vehicles were burnt and property smashed using sticks and stones. Over 50 employees took cover and ran for their lives as more than 60 armed men carried out the attack. Three Sons Managing Director Troy Tedley Uise Motu Koitabuen said they were surprised as villagers entered their yard.
We got belted with these for 2 hours straight. And even though we called for police, not one police unit turned up.
Tedley said the villagers thought police confiscated their betel nut bags and left it in his yard.
When my staff came out, they got pelted with rocks.
One of Tedley's subsidiaries, Ascopina S, contract with NCD to regulate the betel nut ban in the nation's capital. 2 policemen were present during the commotion and fired warning shots but were stoned by villagers.
What happens to this village now? Does it become a lawless suburb of Port Moresby? It's in the middle of the city.
EMTV understands police have shown limited presence in conducting patrols in Hanobada village after the shooting of 2 men earlier this year. Jack Lepave Jr., National EMTV News.
French Ambassador Pascal Maubert wants PNG to protect its coffee brands. Ambassador Maubert said Papua New Guinea should be aware of copyright and branding measures used by agricultural commodities to protect certain products. He stressed that it was necessary to promote organic coffee production amid the current market trends. He stated that the EU-funded projects will focus on support for rural development and the private sector. Ambassador Maubert made these statements following his visit to the Coffee Industry Corporation headquarters in Goroka this week. The number of eligible voters casting their votes in this year's 3rd autonomous Bougainville government general elections has increased. Bougainville's acting electoral commissioner, George Manu, announced this when speaking to our reporter, Fabian Hakalitz, in Buka.
The Bougainville Electoral Commission has finalized the electoral roll, recording an increase in the number of eligible voters From the 2010 electoral update, an additional of 20,000 with the number of eligible voters casting their votes in this year's third autonomous Bougainville government general election to 173,000.
We have done a very good job, including an additional 20,000 eligible voters.
On gender ratio, the updated electoral roll is well balanced. That shows improvement on data. This shows man and woman will equally vote in this year's election. It's important and a decider to Bougainville's future political status.
The rolls consist of 51% men and 49% of women, slightly better than the gender ratio in the latest census data of 2011.
The election is on track and candidates have a week left to campaign before polling begins on the 11th this month. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News, Buka.
Turning overseas now, and a royal princess has been born to their Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Prince William and his wife Catherine's second child was born on Saturday morning in London, weighing just over 3 kilograms. The newborn princess is fourth in line to the throne after her grandfather, Prince Charles, father, Prince William, and older brother, Prince George. She will be the first to benefit from a new law that ensures the princess cannot be passed over in favor of any younger male siblings. Trukai Sports is next. We'll have for you the Digicel Cup results, a review of the Kumuls Batis game, the Anzac Test, and boxing's fight of the century.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Competition is heating up in the 2015 Digicel Cup. In Mendi, Muruks went down to a strong Simbu Lions outfit, while the Hagen Eagles scraped through a narrow win against Engamioks 14 points to 12. In the capital city, the Gulf Isapairs registered their first win of the season, 16 points to 8 against Port Moresby Vipers. In other matches, Hela Wigman lodged their first win of the season, as well as Wagitumbe, and the Rabaul Gurias kept up their winning streak, defeating the Ley Tigers 20 points to 12. The Kumuls Pacific Test match against Fiji Batis on the Gold Coast has left fans disappointed. The loss was tragic for supporters who took to the social networks to express their disappointments. The Batis sealed a 22-10 victory over the Kumuls, and this is what coach Malmanenga and the players had to say after the game.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed the way we played in the first half, but we talked about it. There was a little bit of reality and a bit of honesty at half time, and I thought they responded really well to it. And with these guys, it's just a bit of self-belief. I know they're playing against players that are playing in the NRL, but when they think about how good they can be, a little bit confidence in their own ability, they start to play well. So yeah, we're a little bit disappointed in the first half, but extremely happy about the way we played in the second.
Yeah, we thought we came in half time and Mal gave us a bit of a speak to. Said we had to sort of fire up in the second half, do the country proud, and we came out in the second half heaps better. I thought we completed and gave it to the Fiji boys.
Yeah, certainly we could hear the fans, like our fans, behind us traditionally back home. It's like they motivate us to play. So it's like back home, it's like giving us more strength and courage to play for our country.
To the NSL now, and the doubleheader at the CIS Bomana kicked off with POM FC taking on Oro FC, and the main game in the afternoon was the top of the table clash. POM FC beat Oro FC 2-1.
Oro knew they had to win this match, considering the fact that they are at the bottom of the ladder, and they made FC POM work hard. However, FC POM was instrumental in defense. At the first half of the game, denying attacks by Oro striker continuously pounded the FC Port Moresby's back line. Oro striker Patrick Icy managed to pull one goal across the face of FC Port Moresby's goalkeeper. FC POM, however, hit back with an early goal in the second half, then followed by another goal, which ended the match 2-1 in favor of FC Port Moresby. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Now to international boxing, and Floyd Money Mayweather has once again defended his WBA and WBC World Welterweight titles by beating Manny Pacman Pacquiao at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas. After 12 rounds of competitive action, Mayweather walked away with the unanimous decision. From the opening bell, it was Mayweather who set the pace, creating the distance with his jab and successfully countering Pacquiao's charging with his right-hand counters. Pacquiao was effective in pressuring Mayweather to the ropes and corners using his combinations to the body, but it was Mayweather's jabs and sharpshooting that was enough to give him the win. The judges' scorecards read 118 to 110, 116 to 112, and 116 to 112 by the end of the 12 rounds. We take a break and come back with the weather details for the next 24 hours. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Here's a look at your weather for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, Port Moresby, you can expect evening showers and thunderstorms. In Mamase, Ley, you can expect a few showers. Kokopo in the New Guinea Islands region can expect showers and thunderstorms. And Goroka and Kundiawa in the Highlands region can expect brief evening showers with morning fog. And that is the way it is. Sunday, the 3rd of May 2015, from the EMTV News team, I'm Meribatulo. You have a pleasant working week. Good night.